In the name of the Almighty, most merciful, most glorious, and for all those who are watching and those who watch after, may the peace of the Lord be with you all. So today we are going to look at menstruation, that is, colors of menstruation and what it says about your health. So we are going to be talking about colors of menstruation and what it says about your health. Menstruation is something that is normal for ladies, but understanding what your menstruation says about your health is very important. In many cases, what menstruation says about your health is normal, but there are some few cases that you might see that are red flags and you need to take care about, you need to take note about. So in these few cases that you may have your menstruation telling you that hey, your health is not okay. So we are going to look at all of these cases and going to look at some of few pertinent issues about menstruation as well before getting into the real deal of today. So we really do hope that you all are going to enjoy this. And if you have an issue, please you get to us, you ask question in the comment section. We'll try to see how we can address that while for those who would like to connect with us, you can get to our about section of our YouTube page. Get there, you connect with us on Instagram one-on-one, may talk with you one-on-one, or there will be a link, a WhatsApp link in the description for you to click on it and get to us one-on-one for those who like to get to us. So thank you so much for being here. God bless you all. So actually menstruation, which is monthly bleeding for ladies, we call it monthly, even though not everyone will have it like every month. Some might have it twice a month. In the case of very short cycles, some might have it after 1 month. That is in the case of 35 days cycle. In the case of 35 days cycle, you see your menstruation after 35 days. And if you see your menstruation after 35 days, obviously you don't menstruate after 1 month. It therefore means you menstruate after 1 month plus. So it will not be monthly. For you, it will be 1 month plus. So that is the difference. So we are going to go through some of these important points about menstruation before going to the various colors of your menstruation. So concerning menstruation, you need to take note of the following. You need to take note about the following changes. Changes in the length of it therefore means if you used to have your cycle for 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, then suddenly your cycle changes to, let's say, 21, 22, 21, 22, or your cycle changes to maybe 35, 33, 34, then there is an issue that you need to resolve. So the length, you need to take note about the length, the volume as well. The the flow volume. Okay, you need to take note about the flow volume. So if you used to use, let me say, 2 parts daily, now you start changing your parts, maybe 3, 4 daily. Then you need to probably see your doctor, see your gynecologist, and you try to sort out 1 or 2 things. Another thing is pain. Okay, if normally you don't used to feel pain during menstruation, then suddenly start feeling pains, then it is important that you actually take note about it and you try to sort out what is actually happening. Another thing is the menstruation color, which is what we are going to lay emphasis on today. This point of the menstruation color is what we are going to be talking about today. So take note of the following: the length of your cycle, take note of the flow volume, take note of pain during menstruation, take note of the color. Okay, so take note of all of these. Typically, menstrual cycle is from the first day of flow to the next period. Okay, so if you see a period today and another period comes after 28 days, then that cycle is actually a 27-day cycle because you stop counting a day before the next cycle. That is how you count. Averagely, we have 28 days cycle. It therefore means most of our ladies do have a 28-day cycle, but your cycle is between 21 to 35 days. Normal cycle 21 to 35 days, meaning there are people with very short cycle and these people are 21 days, and there are people with very long cycle and these people are 35-day cycle. So if you see your period falling between 21 right up between 21 right up to 35, you're okay. You should not be like maybe afraid of something that, hey, come on, why is my period 21-day cycle? And with ladies with 21-day cycle, most of them do think that, hey, no, I have a problem, because most of these ladies will see their period twice a month. So if your period is a 21-day cycle, you will likely see your period twice a month. Because let me say you see your period on the 1st of June, then obviously you are going to see your period again on the 22nd of June. Therefore means you are a 21-day cycle. Now, bleeding days, 3 to 7 days is normal. Even 2 to 7 days is also normal. Okay, so if you have 3 to 7 days, you're okay. 2 to 7 is not still bad. But if you have after 7, you have 8 days flow, 9 days flow, 10 days flow, then it's something that you really need to talk with your gynecologist. The normal quantity is between 1 to 6 tablespoons of blood. So normal blood loss is between 1 to 6 tablespoons of blood. So if you have 1 to 6 tablespoons of blood, it's okay. So you know, some people really bleed too much, and if you bleed that much, it's something that you really need to talk with your doctor, especially if you don't used to bleed that much. Suddenly you start seeing your period too heavy, then you should talk with your doctor. Don't assume, don't stay and you assume that everything is all right. No, you talk with your doctor. Menarche is the onset of the first ever menses. Okay, so as a lady, your first ever menses falls between 8 to 16 years old. That's the average. Therefore, I mean by the ages of age right up to 16 years old, we are expecting you to see your period, your first ever menstruation. We are not saying that you can't see maybe before 8 or after 16 your first ever menses. No, it is possible. Sister Sally, welcome. Thank you very much. I'm okay. I hope you're doing great this evening. So you see that 8 to 16 years is the average age for you to see your first ever menses, and it is called menarche. Okay, so if you see a period maybe earlier than 8 years, it could be that you are abnormal birth. You should not be too worried. I think if you start seeing your first ever menstruation after 16 years, that's something that you should try to talk with your doctor. If you are 15, 16, you've not seen your first menstruation, then you should see a doctor and talk with your doctor. Sister Saleh, I hope you had a wonderful day today. So, cessation of menstruation is actually due to menopause, and generally it's between 45 to 55 years. So, if you're 45 to 55 years, you may have your menses cyst. It therefore means you don't have I mean like you don't have your normal monthly bleeding between the ages of 45 to 55, but this is the average, meaning some people may go above 55 still seeing their flow. So, but typically menstruation, typically menopause, that cessation of menstruation, occurs between 45 years to 55 years. Now, concerning the main discussion of today, that is colors of your menstruation. Menstrual blood may be brown, black, dark red, bright red, pink, orange, or gray. The color may not signify anything serious, but always keep in mind that the darker your blood, in bracket, brown, black, brown slash black, signify O blood or blood that has reacted with air, that is oxygen. You know, for those who did chemistry back at home, back in secondary school, even physics, you know, if blood react with air, you know, the reaction after that, the product after that. If you look at your blood on your bandage, you will see that that blood, once it touches your bandage, that is, if you have an injury in, there is blood on bandage, it changes from red to brown to dark in color or black because it has reacted with air or it has reacted with oxygen. So the very first color is dark red. Dark red is the first menstruation color. I don't know if you're a lady watching at the moment and you've had this color, dark red, as your menstruation color, please let us know. So if you see among these 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll see that this is dark red. Yes, and this dark red is also the same like brown. So it falls with people with brown or dark brown. So they'll also have this color. I'm sorry that maybe what you're watching may not be exactly what you see, but in the description you're going to find this. We'll try to put it up in the description if we can. Now our thumbnail, actually, you try to check thumbnail, you will see this one very well because what you might be watching might not be exactly what we are seeing directly here. So dark red is this color, or dark brown. Now this color is usually the color that you will see first thing in the morning after you've been lying down for a while during the middle of your cycle, when your flow is starting to slow down. This is generally normal. Okay, if you see dark red, this color, it's generally normal. So if your flow is actually coming to an end, and let me say flow for first day, second day, third day, or first, second, then you've lie down for a longer time, it's obviously normal for you to have this color, the dark red color of menstruation. Like I said, if you have a question, please you put in the comment section. As we proceed, make sure you put your question in the comment section. The next is bright red. Bright red. So this is bright red. Bright red. The next color from your right. Bright red. So if you notice this color, this is also normal. This this color generally means that your flow is heavy, but it is a good sign that everything is functioning well. So you don't panic, but it generally means that your flow is heavy. The next color is a mixture of gray and red. A mixture. The next color is a mixture of gray and red, which is this. Second from the left, and third from the right. So if you start counting from the right, you have dark red, and you have the next color, then a mixture of gray and red. Now, this is the color that has to get you wanting. Okay, if you see this color, if you see this menstrual color as a lady, then this is where you need to talk with the doctor as soon as possible. Yeah, the color here, you might not really see the difference, but if your color it's not dark red and you feel that this color you're looking at is not normal with your own eyes, then you should talk with your doctor as soon as possible. Yeah, you should talk with your doctor because this could actually mean a lot. This is a sign of an infection. This is also a sign of a miscarriage if you're pregnant. So if you're pregnant, this could be a sign of miscarriage if you see a mixture of gray and red. Gray and red color, this one. I know this color and this color, they look as if they're the same, they're not the same place. The second color and the third color are not the same, they're different. The second color is what we are talking about here. That if you see this gray, a mixture of gray and red color, make sure you talk with your doctor as soon as possible. This could be an infection. This could mean that you're having a miscarriage if you're pregnant. And with infections, this color, this gray and red color, there are several infections here that may be the cause of it. Several infections. We have a lot of sexually transmittable infections that you can catch if you're sexually active. We have chlamydia, we have gonorrhea, we have syphilis, and generally pelvic inflammatory diseases can actually cause this as well. And pelvic inflammatory disease is also caused by this infection we just mentioned, also caused by chlamydia, also caused by gonorrhea. So if you have a mixture of gray and red, please, this is a color that you need to make sure you take special note. A mixture of gray and red means that there is something really, really disturbing that you'll need to solve. So you talk with your doctor as soon as possible to rectify this. Like I said, if you're pregnant, this could mean that you're having a miscarriage. And having a miscarriage is something that nobody wants it. So if you see this color, a mixture of gray and red, please, you get to your doctor as soon as possible. This color could mean that you're having a lot of issues. This color could mean that you're having a miscarriage. This color could mean that you have an infection, and we have several infections that you can get if you have this color. You have several infections. So if you have this color, a mixture of green and red, then please, it is important that you seek medical help. It is important that you talk with your doctor and come out with what could be the issue. And my advice is always that please avoid going straight for medications without coming out with the cause of this color, because a lot of times when we see changes in maybe our cervical or menstruation color, we just tend to say, hey, come on, let us go, and we take antibiotics straight away. That is risky. That should not be tolerated. You should not encourage yourself. Don't always go straight for medications. It is not the best idea. It is not a good thing to do. Please. So if you have been doing that, if you have maybe issues with your discharges, if you have maybe a color that is not, if you have a color that is not a normal color of your menstruation, avoid going straight to the chemist for drugs. Please make sure that you talk with your doctor and you come out with What could be the major cause of your color? This is very important because just imagine you are pregnant. Imagine you're pregnant and you have this mixture of gray and red, meaning you're having a miscarriage. You just go straight to say, hey, come on, this color may just this menstruation color may just mean that I have an infection while I'm pregnant, so I should go and take. Whereas you're having a miscarriage, and this should actually go to the hospital. You find out what is causing you to have this bleeding. If it's a miscarriage, your doctor will see what is causing a miscarriage and you're treated because it could be dangerous if you stay. Just imagine you having a miscarriage because of an infection and you did not like take it serious. You stayed right up to when that infection is not also corrected as early as possible. You may want to visit your hospital maybe later, whereas many other things have gone wrong. That is dangerous. So if you see this color, a mixture of gray and red, understand that it is a red line. You make sure that you see a doctor as soon as possible. Like I said, if you have a question, please keep in the comment section. If you have a question, keep in the comment section. So pink here is, so if you have pink as your menstruation color, your menstrual color, if you have pink here is our first color. Now remember, all of these are just demonstration, but I hope we all know a mixture of gray and red, a mixture of a pink color. We also know dark brown because if we're looking at these colors here, these are just samples. We may be looking at these colors and we think, hey, come on, no, I don't see any of these colors. Please always check your color of your menstruation and make sure that it is And if you have issues, if you think that your color is not consistent, please make sure you visit your doctor. Make sure you talk with your doctor to come out with the solution. I'm sorry for the network. Network is breaking out. I'm sorry. I hope we'll just manage this out. This is very important. So if you see pink, what does it mean? If you see pink, it ever means you probably maybe you have been doing some vigorous exercise like lifting heavy weights and also running. If you have been having serious, if you have been doing vigorous exercise lately, you might notice that your so you may notice that your menstruation is lighter than usual, and that is it looks somehow like pink. That means that you have been doing some heavy lifting or you have been doing some vigorous exercise lately. That's why your menstruation is pink in color. And also, if you are on a hormonal birth control, it's possible that you also have. So if you are on hormonal birth control, it is also possible that you should have this pink coloration of your menstruation because estrogen level to drop and this cause your menstruation to be somehow like lighter. Poor dieting can also cause this. Okay, so if you eat diet, if your dieting is poor, then it's also possible for you to have this pink coloration. So we have poor dieting. So we have poor dieting, we have hormonal birth control, then we have exercise, vigorous exercise. Those are things that can actually cause you to have this pink coloration. Sister Sylvia, you're saying you're washing hands for what? For the colors, I do hope that you don't have a color that is not usual. If you have a color that is not usual, please, it's good to visit your doctor and you talk with your doctor. Our next color is dark brown. Dark brown, which is the first coloration. If you check if you check this picture, you see dark brown is the first, just like we said, dark So our next menstruation color or menstrual color is dark brown. And if you see dark brown is normal, dark brown is also normal. Dark brown means that you are probably approaching the end of your cycle. That's the end of your menstruation, and it's normal for you to have it. Yeah. The color also tells you that the blood is old. It also tells you that this blood is an old blood that at times is a uterine lining from previous cycle. So if you have this dark brown, you should not bother yourself too much. That is why most of the time when ladies complain of dark brown eyes, and for how long? Maybe you're having it for the very first time, but if let's say your cycle always you see dark brown, always is dark brown, then there is an issue. If throughout your menstruation you only see dark brown, then there is an issue. So that will be it for these colors and their significance. I will go through for those who maybe just join us. If you just join us, I will just do a brief explanation on these various colors such that you can get before we move to some other things that has to do with menstruation here. So our first color. So if you're just joining us, we've been talking about colors of menstruation, what they may mean concerning your health. It is not every color of your menstruation that looks normal. So some of these colors is something that you need to take care about. You need to actually make sure that this color is okay. So the first color is dark brown, dark red, dark brown, dark red. If you have this dark red color, we said it is normal. We said it's normal to have this dark red color. If you look at the picture, you will see our dark red color here is the first on the right. First on the right, first on the right is our dark red color, and if you see this dark red color, it is actually normal. This means that this is usually the color you will find in the morning after you, and this is actually normal. So if you see this first color, that's the dark red color, it is normal. It could be showing that you've been lying down some time, and that is why you're having that color. The next color that we've talked about is bright red. Bright red is also normal, which is the second to the right. It's also normal. This actually means that your flow is heavy and it's also normal. There is no problem with you having this color. The next color is a mixture of gray and red, and this is the color we said there is an issue. If you see this color, it means that you should talk with your doctor as soon as possible. It could be an infection, and if you're pregnant, it could mean that you're having a miscarriage. The next color is pink. If you see pink, pink is normal. Pink is normal. It means that you are probably doing something like weight listing, that's or So if you see pink, pink means that you're having a vigorous exercise, maybe like running and whatsoever. The next is dark brown. Dark brown is also normal. This you might see when your period is going to an end. Now the next thing that we are going to discuss about menstruation is absence of menses. Okay, if you don't see your menstruation, if you've stayed for, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, you don't see your menstruation, what could be the cause? So birth control could be the cause, hormonal imbalance could be the cause, medications could be the cause, you could be sick, and illness could be the cause, too much exercise could be the cause, stress could be the cause, poor dieting, nutrition could be a cause, low body fat, menopause could be another cause. So if you're not seeing your flow, you could be on a birth control method. If you are on a birth control method, it could be a reason why you've not seen your menstruation. So if you've not seen your menstruation, this could be the reasons. The very first one is that it could be because of birth control. So if you've stayed for 2 or 3 months without seeing your menstruation, it could be because of birth control method that is causing you not to see your flow. The next is that you might have hormonal imbalance. Yes, you might have hormonal imbalance, and hormonal imbalance is something that is so serious. So it's always proper that if you don't see your flow for 2 3 months, please you visit your doctor. The next, medication. It is so normal for you not to see your period because of medication. Some medications will actually cause your period to maybe take a hold. So it is proper that you also see your doctor. You could be ill, you could be sick. So illness could be the next thing why you've not seen your flow. The next is that you are exercising like vigorously. If you are doing a lot of exercise, remember we just made mention of the menstruation. When you do a lot of exercise, it is lighter. It's lighter. So if a lot of exercise, then it's possible for you to also not to see your menstruation or for you to have a skip menses. The next is stress. When you are stressed out, it is possible for you not to have. It's possible for you to have a skip menses if you are stressed. And ladies, I know we have a lot of issues on our head, but please reduce stress by all costs. The next is poor dieting. Okay, if you have poor dieting, this might also cause your blood. Like we mentioned, poor dieting will cause your menstruation to be thin. So you might be put on iron dieting because remember menstruation is blood, right? So this might even your blood quantity in your body, that's your HB hemoglobin, is not enough as well. The next is sudden weight gain or weight loss. So if you suddenly gain weight or you lost weight, it is possible for you to miss your menstruation for a period or two. So if you have a sudden weight loss or weight gain, then it is important that you talk with your doctor. The next is low body fat. You have low body fat, it is possible. And this also goes to sudden weight gain or loss. And the last point you can actually have due to the fact that your cycle was not maybe regular or you miss the cycle for 2 or 3 months is because of menopause. So for menopause, normally if you attend menopause, you are supposed to have a cessation of period, and if you have this cessation of period, obviously it is normal because it is menopause. But obviously it is proper that you talk with your doctor and you come out with the exact cause of your cessation of menstruation. Don't just assume. So what are the warning signs of menstruation? What are the warning signs within menstruation? Prolonged bleeding. If you have prolonged bleeding, prolonged heavy bleeding, please is proper that you see your doctor. So these are the warning signs of menstruation, prolonged bleeding. If you have prolonged bleeding, if you have severe pains, it is proper that you talk with the doctor as well. If you have severe pains, you are bleeding between periods. Okay, you are bleeding between periods. Normally, if you expect your period, let me say on the 21st of a month, but the period comes on the 15th, that's bleeding between period. If it comes on the 15th, then you see another still on that 21st day for me, you have bleeding between period, then you should check out with your doctor. The next is when you change pads less than 2 hours, right? You change your pads less than 2 hours, then you should talk with the doctor. Talk with your doctor, then you come out with what could be the problem. The next is dizziness. If you bleed until when you see that you have dizziness, then you should talk with the doctor. Sudden absence or irregular menses, you should also talk with the doctor about this because this is a warning sign. Bleeding after menopause, if you've attained your menopause, then you still have bleeding, please talk with your doctor, see your doctor, because this could be signs that things are not really the best. Now, if you pay attention to your menses, it may give you an information about your overall health. This is what we should take note about. That your menstruation, if you take special attention to your menstruation, you will come up with what could be wrong with your health, what could be going on with your own health. So it is very important that you take care of your menstruation, make sure that you follow it, make sure that you understand exactly what is going wrong or what is going right with your menstruation. If you have any question, please go ahead and you ask your question. For those who have been watching, if you have a question, please go ahead and ask your question. If you have been following, please, can we have some questions? For those who have been following, can we have some questions before we do a roundup and we close for today? If you have been following, can we have some questions about your menstruation, questions about all of your menstruation, question about quantity of your menstruation, question about your menstruation as a whole? Okay, certainly no question. Certainly no question. So for those who will be watching and maybe you don't have a question, so we're going to do a round. So today we'll be looking at what your menstruation is about your health, what your menstrual blood says about your health. That's what we'll be looking at. And before that, we'll say that you need to check the following concerning your menstruation. Always try to check the length of your menstruation, how long is your menstrual cycle, the flow volume of your menstruation, what is the quantity. Also check the pain. Are you in pains when you menstruate? Check the color of your menstruation. And we also say that the first day of one period to the first day of the next period is actually your menstrual cycle. And typically, we have a 28-day cycle for most ladies, but menstrual cycle falls between 21 to 35 days. We also mention that bleeding days of your menstruation is between 3 to 7 days, and blood loss, quantity of blood loss is 1 to 6 tablespoons. The billionaire in the building. Lady B, welcome, sis. Lady B, you're very much welcome. Thank you so much. I'm okay. It's only network that is troubling me. Network and power. No network, no power. So thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate. Thanks for coming with the energy. So we have been discussing colors of your menstruation, and we said that you need to take note of the following concerning your menstrual cycle. You need to take note of the length of the cycle. You need to take note of your flow volume. You need to take note of pains, meaning that if you're flowing, are you in pains? You need to take note of color of your menstruation. That we've said that a typical menstruation is first day of your flow to the next menstrual cycle. Averagely 28 days, but you can have your cycle between 21 up to 35, means some people are 21, some people are 22, right up to 35. Days. Normal bleeding days 3 to 7 days, and normal blood loss is 1 to 6 tablespoons. Menarche is the onset of your first ever menstruation, and generally is between 8 years to 16 years for ladies to have their first ever menstruation. Generally is between 8 years to 16 years. Menopause is actually cessation of menstruation, meaning that word, if you have cessation of your menses, it is probably that you are already on menopause. And it is between 45 to 55 years. Of course, you can have it maybe, or you can also have it maybe later than this, so but it's okay. Now we have discussed the various colors of your menstrual cycle, various colors of blood of your menstrual cycle, various colors that you can see. And red, dark red. We said this is dark red color. This is the first color that you can see. The next color, and for dark red, it is typically normal for you to have dark red, so it's okay. It's okay. This is generally when you've lied down for a very long time, it's possible for you to have dark red. The next color, which we've discussed, is light. Lady B, if you are still there, how's the hustling going on? So the next color after dark red is bright red. And bright red is also normal. It's normal. The next color is the next color is a mixture of gray and red. And if you have this color, this is a color that you need to make sure you see your doctor, talk with your doctor if you have this color. After that, the next color we discuss about is pink. Pink means you need to eat well, maybe you are exercising too much, you need to take care about this. The next The next is dark brown, and dark brown is okay. Yeah, it's okay for you to have dark brown. There's no major issue when you have dark brown. Now we also discuss about absent menses, absent menses, and if you don't see your flow, what does it mean? It could be because of birth control. It could be because of hormonal imbalance. It could be because of medications. It could be because of an illness. Maybe you're sick. It could be because of too much exercise. It could be because of stress, poor dieting, nutrition. It could be because you suddenly lose weight or you gain weight too suddenly. It could be because of low body fat, and the last one is menopause. And for menopause, obviously there is nothing you can do because that is just natural. And I say that these are warning signs of menstruation. If you have prolonged heavy bleeding, if you have severe pains, if you have bleeding between period, if you change your pad less than 2 hours apart, okay, then you should talk with your doctor. If you have dizziness, is another red flag. You know, sudden absent or irregular menses is also another thing. Bleeding after menopause. This is something that you need to take care about. Bleeding after menopause. You should not have bleeding after menopause. So you need to pay attention to your menstruation because your menstruation has a lot to tell you about your health. You know, women are very beautiful. God created women with a lot of body. That's why most of the studies you see, most of the health issues are on women. So the body of a woman is a specimen. That is a wonderful specimen, wonderful um, structure that you can have a lot to say about. So knowing about your menstruation, just like what we said about genital discharges, is something that you need to make sure that you can take care and you know more about this. So this is where we'll be drawing our curtain. So I want to say that thank you so much, and may God bless you and grant comfort to those suffering from difficult situations. So if you have a disease situation, may God heal you from that disease situation while you are also making sure that you follow your medical advice and take your treatment. For those who are actually maybe struggling to have their own kids because of fertility issues, may you have your success. May you actually have what you're looking for. I want to give a special thanks to those who actually followed through from start to the end. For those who will be watching after, please, I want to thank you as well. Where on our YouTube channel, check your health and maintain your wealth. Follow us here, please, and share us out as well. I want to really do appreciate everyone for being there. May God bless you. Thank you so much. Do have a wonderful evening, and it should be a fulfilling one. If you have any question, please put in the comment section, or you go to our about section, click on Instagram, follow us on Instagram at Check Your Health and Maintain. Follow us on Facebook as well, Check Your Health and Maintain Your World. And on Twitter, you can also follow us as well. So thank you so much. Do have a pleasant evening.